Welcome to Blend LA. My name is DJ Big D.
And I'm Day Slayer.
And this is the podcast dedicated to house music culture. And as of date, today's date is, what is today's date, by the way?
Hold on.
It is the 9th, March
the
9th.
March 9th,
As of
2022.
March 9th, this episode is taping on March 9th. We are going to be discussing a little bit what's happening all over, but also specifically what's happening in California, LA, with the mandate mask being dropped, and clubs are opening up, and things of that sort are happening, and people are milling around trying to get their feet a little moist in the waters of post-COVID activities, clubbing and whatnot. We'll get to that in a minute, but for now, let's catch up. My man Day Slayer, what's good?
As you can see, I'm sitting over here in the Arts District in Los Angeles in downtown. With my disco ball.
Which no one can see. No one can see the disco ball. No one can see that.
I'm good, man. I got the sun coming in.
Good.
Just chilling. Trying to make it through like everybody else.
True that.
Hoping for the best in Eastern Europe.
Indeed.
And hoping we can get back out doing our thing more and more and more, with more people feeling more comfortable to come out, since the numbers are dropping big time in Los Angeles County. Thank goodness. Something's up in my hip.
There you go. Just turn them around. That'll work. That's better.
So yeah, things are cool.
Yeah?
Things are all right. What about you?
But good. I was in Virgin Islands for St. Thomas. Went home for a while. I think I may have discussed that. And coming back after a long time there, I had to deal with some family stuff. And now that I'm back at it. And as a matter of fact, the last party we played at Johnny's over here on Adams, I had come back the night before pretty much, and basically jump right into playing for the first time for the year, which was a little crazy. I hadn't really thought about it so much as from the last time we left on to the first of the year, first performance, if you will, and how different that was, because I think things were spiking, if you will, right around the time that our last party before this one was, and we were a little apprehensive. We were even doing it because things were a little bit crazy, but protocols had just been introduced around that weekend, so we decided to go ahead because we know the way we were playing. People are pretty much responsible of staying on top of things, but there were all kinds of stories and whatnot. But we forged ahead, and everything looked like it turned out okay. Hence why we're getting back into the mix, literally, figuratively. Yeah, with what's coming up. It's coming up on the 19th of this month, when we will be back at it in 10 more days doing what we do.
Exactly. Is it windy over there? Because I hear the wind chimes blowing.
Yes, it is a little windy.
They sound so beautiful.
It's California, man. What can I tell you? It's LA. Gotta love it.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we are in March. Beware of the Ides of March. It's coming up rather quickly.
Yes, indeedy.
And it's St. Patrick's Day coming up. We have our blend party coming up on the 19th. You have the Bimbe DJ Awards are coming up in April. I mean, people are getting back out. You see it. I'm down in the Arts District, and people are, there's more people out. They seem, like they get back to normal.
Right.
Not that I've been out a lot or you have been out a lot, but when we've been out together, the venues are not playing in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles or LA County. It's like, you got to have your card and your ID, and hopefully you are, a law-abiding citizen. You do the right thing. You ain't got no fake shit, and everything turns out good. So far, so good.
Well, Yes. I mean, like you said, I don't want to get too political with this whole thing because it's just I live over that whole thing, and I'm thinking a lot of people are, at least in these venues, are as if they're over it. They're completely over it. They want to have a good time, and that's part of it.
Hmm.
Part of the music scene, part of this house music scene, or music scene in general, I imagine. But house music is that freedom, that doing and expressing oneself how one likes to express oneself. And sometimes it can seem a little frivolous for dealing with some of the real day to day stresses and stresses of the world in which we live in, which is like we're still in a pandemic. Things are happening in Europe. Things are happening all over the world, and yet sometimes I feel that what we do, being part of this community, can be looked at it as a very frivolous thing, and then I look at it from this another lens as being extremely important for those that really need to get that release and that connection to spirituality and their humanity, if you will. And so I go both ways with it sometimes. Sometimes I think some people are a little bit silly about it, and then I sometimes think people really need to have this outlet, if you will, to celebrate something instead of
Right.
just being completely hit over the head with everything all of the time. Because that's seems to be where a lot of it comes from. It's just a constant barragement of negativity, and people literally need to shake it off. I'm for
Take
one like
it
that, though.
off. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we went to what? We went to Utopia the other week.
Yeah, that was a blast. Shout
It
out
was
to
a
KG and
blast
DJ Ade.
on a rooftop in Hollywood. It was beautiful. The music was ridiculous. DJ Rashida did her thing. It was packed, but I'm telling you, I felt comfortable up there when I checked in at the ground level.
Right.
Because I saw a whole group of young people, people of color, all types of people, and everybody pulled out, their requirements to get in there. So I'm 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 feeling good about this. And the numbers are down, especially in LA County. I mean, one death is too many, but deaths have dropped dramatically. And there's only like 700 hospitalizations as of yesterday in the county, which is pretty amazing. So I'm pouring a little bit more rosé, cheersing to the fact that I hope we're on the other side of this pandemic. Can I get it? Can I get a salute? Salute.
Ching ching.
So yeah, I was using like the Super Bowl as my canary in the coal mine. I'm like, oh shit, if this shit spikes, we're gonna get shut down again. But the numbers have not gone up.
Well, you could imagine in a venue like that, they're probably doubly stringent with
Yeah,
with stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'll be,
yeah.
you know,
Not to turn this into the COVID show, but we were going to talk on that a little bit. And I was listening in to some officials at LA County. It was like an online thing, and one of the doctors there said that before the Super Bowl, everybody's like, well, you're going to let them, all these people go to this thing during COVID. And she's like, look, there have been 21 events. She said basically LA County's been open since the fall. There's been 21 events at SoFi Stadium alone with over 1.2 million people attending. And they have like a strict protocol, like you either need to be vaccinated or you have to show a negative COVID test before you're even up in the spot. So when you see thousands of people in these stadiums, most likely they're either vaccinated or they've had a negative test. And then they
right,
hand out masks. So,
right.
and so far, so good. So that's all I got to say about it. That's all I got to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a
So
lot. It's a lot to say.
those are facts.
Yes, sir.
Ain't no opinions. I listened to it today before I did my homework
Hmm.
because this is very important. It's very important,
Right,
especially when we're out there amongst folks. And, we
right,
want to have an extremely safe environment
right.
for our blenders to come in
And
and
celebrate,
release.
celebrate life. Ah, celebrate.
So,
Little Brian Stingley for you.
Yeah. What else is going on?
Well, that man, trying to get some new music, man. I can't wait for the
Oh,
summer to get some new music. We get some new venue. Excuse
new.
me, not a new venue, but a new old school place to play back. We're going to head back to the Resident.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
what?
thought we were going to talk about that, man. I thought that we were keeping that under wraps till
Why would
April.
we do that?
Because I asked you earlier if I can post something about it, and you said no.
I
And
didn't say we
now,
could. I didn't say about posting anything.
now the dog is out of the
I
bag.
didn't say about we could talk about it on the podcast, but not necessarily posting.
But we have like 20,000 people listening in at any given moment.
Well,
divided by divided by
okay, okay. For you 20,000 listeners, the Amp Collective will be playing on the 9th, correct? April 9th?
what?
What is
Where?
that
A
date?
resident?
Yes, sir.
No, we go back to the resident on May 21st.
Oh, I had it all wrong. May 21st,
Yeah.
2 to 8 p.m., downtown LA. Resident, the Amp Collective.
Where we started doing the
When it
blend
all
party.
began outdoors, the original day
Oh,
party, man. The original day party from
yeah.
Blend Day Party was at Resident, and we can't wait to get back down there and keep them both going, both venues going. I think they both offer something unique for the people that come through, for those people that are downtown and live Eagle Rock, Glendale area.
Rock,
You know what I
Eagle,
mean?
don't stop.
And for those folks that like to get down over here off of the Crenshaw district, we do Adams, Johnny's, the bar Johnny's, which I think is a great venue as well. They're like sister venues almost. They're very similar in a way. They offer a similar vibe.
They do. They're both indoor, outdoor. They
Yeah.
both have amazing staff that
Fire pit. We'll get fire pits.
fire pits, cocktails are on point.
Yeah.
Um, Resident added some more food to the menu. Dope ass vegan burger, veggie burger, and the fries are bananas. But that pastrami,
Well, the fries are not bananas. They're good.
the
Banana fries.
pastrami at Johnny's.
Come on now.
I mean, and the chicken sandwich at Johnny's is so good that,
Everything
and it's
sound-
so massive that I'm on my feet from 2 to 8. I go with D. We move the speakers back. I go home. I go to bed. I wake up and I'm like, oh shit, where the hell's the other half of my chicken sandwich? D, Lori, have you seen my chicken sandwich?
Look for that chicken
Oh
sandwich.
yeah, the chicken sandwich is also the bomb. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
they do a good job. They do a heck of a job on the brioche, on the fancy smashy brioche.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the 19th of March back at Johnny's. Just you and I.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. Yeah, we're trying to that new approach seems to be working. I like the fact that we're just what are we looking at?
House. It's a house.
Where'd you
Ooh,
get that
that
from?
might be that's a cap to the wine.
Oh, okay, that's
The
cool.
house wine. Yeah. You might be onto something over here, folks. Might have a new
That's
sponsor.
shocking. That looks like a logo that I did for myself, man. That looks really interesting. I'm thinking like somebody
They
stealing
might have copped your shit.
somebody stealing my shit.
Yeah. What were you
Yeah, so
saying?
I'm liking the format that we're doing because for those of you that don't know how we play and have been playing mostly at the Blend LA, we also invite guest DJs to come through, come play for an hour or two, share the stage, so to speak. And that's been good, but we really are kind of short, I don't know, in some sort of way, shortchanging them and not giving them the premier closing hour, which we save for ourselves. We think it's important that we set the tone, set the establishment, let people know, like, we're not just podcasters, we're actually DJs, and we like to play at our parties and shut it down. That's how it started. That being said, we're now reverting back to just you and I playing and seeing what that's like. You know what I mean? And having a pretty good time just you and I playing some music. You
Yes.
play a little bit here, I play a little bit here,
Yes.
without having the added pressure of another artist coming through and not being able to give them the full breadth of what they need to do because we're saving that golden hour, so to speak, for ourselves. So this is good. Not to worry about that as much, and I think we'll mix it up a little bit. Summer's
Yeah,
coming
you
up,
never
and I
know.
think
Someone may pop
yeah,
in and be like,
mm,
yo, you want to get on for a minute?
yeah. I like to put some new blood in there though, if I could. That's the whole focus of anything is getting new people, new names, new voices.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm definitely hunt for some more female DJs that are out here that are in LA that love playing house music. Not just play music, play house. I'm some house head DJs. So
Yeah.
that's the quest. I think that would make me, more apt to put someone on the decks sooner than later. Is that if
Mm-hmm.
they're female and they're house DJs. So looking forward to that search. Speaking of female DJs, shout out to Rock Sizzle and her baby, her and her husband, huh? Shout out to you, Roxy. New DJ he just got its wings.
Yes. Shout out to the new baby in the family. The new baby. I forget the baby's name, but the baby is cute AF. I mean, how could it not be?
True
She's
that.
gorgeous. He's like a king. They produced, them. The baby is super dope. The baby is
Fantastic.
dope.
Baby dope.
A lot of hair too. Baby has a lot of hair.
A lot of hair. What
What
they
else
both
is
have a
going
lot
on?
of hair.
Huh?
What do you mean? That's
Not all babies. Some babies are born bald headed.
I know, but I'm saying they both have a lot of hair. They both do.
Well, then it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. It makes sense because they have a lot of hair. Both of them. That's what I was trying to say before you cut me off there. So,
Oh, you know what?
what's that, my man? What's that?
Um, we're gonna be real busy on the 19th, folks. Not only do we have to DJ, we have to sell our own fucking merchandise.
What do you say it like that for, man? I think that's a great thing.
I am joking.
Yeah. The way you say
I'm
that.
joking. Are we gonna have the new shirts? Are we
That
not
is the
gonna have the new
plan.
shirts?
That is the plan, man. I mean, I look at this whole merch thing, not that, for strictly a monetary point of view, as just like,
No,
let me finish my point. I think there are people that have been riding with us for a while and showing support and love, and this is another way for them to, in a sense, be part of the blend, be part of the AMP collective by getting a little piece for themselves and showing everybody that they're down with us. So that's how I view it. So this is a little piece for people that have been around and for newcomers to jump on board. It's good business. It's good branding, if you will. I hate to use those terms; sound a little too slick for me, branding. But
it is too slick for you, D. That's not you. I don't know where that came from.
that's what everybody else will understand. When I say that, they
Well,
would
yeah.
understand.
And they'll also understand what Darian meant, what DJ Big D meant to say was when we're behind the decks, whenever we're behind the decks and we look out on the dance floor, we look out to where people are outside or sitting down and they have on like one of our hats or one of our shirts, we're like, shit, that is amazing. This person took time to invest in us and to show support by wearing something that we made to identify who we are and what we're trying to do with house music. So I think the branding is one thing, but when you have something and you're committed to something like we are to this music, and somebody sees that and they get a piece of what you're committed to and they're invested in it, then it's you become this family, even though you may not talk to them
Right.
on a regular basis, or you might not even have them in your phone number. But when we see them on the dance floor, whether it's every week, once a month, every other year, we're like, we are connected by something
Yeah.
greater than branding or
Well,
them.
it's like I said, it is about this culture. It is about the house music community, and I could think back on when we first started playing house music. Not playing house music, but playing out. That's our branding the music. there weren't as many people playing as they are now. If you think about it, there weren't that many.
What do you mean there weren't as many venues playing, or just
Well, there wasn't many
people?
house music DJs per se. There were a couple of parties that came and went. I
Yeah,
think when we started playing, Deep
deep.
was done. Deep, who were around for at that time 20 years. Deep's around for 20 years.
Right. The lift
Okay,
was just coming to an end, or it
right.
might have been
Afro
ending.
Funky was 10 years in
Yeah.
the clip. Soul Nick was once, still is, once a year. Juju also was sporadic, how they did their thing, pop-ups, and
And
some stuff in the clubs and whatnot. I mean, people were playing, but it wasn't like how it is. Like right now, it's all
whew,
over LA.
it's all, yeah.
It's all over LA. You know what I mean? Being to looking at that, it was like it was different. It was hip hop and a lot of hip hop, and I think it's still a little bit of that still going on. The do over was popular, so that was a big party in LA on Sunday. The do over was major. So house music took a back seat, and that's no longer the case, man. There are venues that are supporting it. There's different offshoots that are playing it. We got Afro House doing their thing. I'm a piano out here doing their thing.
I mean, the
So it's a
whole
lot.
African influence from Afro house to Amapiano to Afro beat is like on fire. It's not house music, but is related to house music as far as I'm concerned. But it's ridiculous.
Right.
What
Right.
like Tommy and the Tribe and Black Pages, what some of these brothers have been doing the last 2 to 3 years with Afrobeat and just African music in LA. It's in Foreigner. It's blown kaboom.
Right.
It's kaboom. It's
Right.
kaboom. It's
Right.
kaboom.
Right. Right.
So there's never a shortage of getting your groove on, whether it's house or anything related to the drum in LA. You can
Right.
go to 5 venues in one day into the night, into the morning on certain weekends. It's
And that's the thing
amazing.
that I really like. I like the fact that that's what's there, and I'm trying to brace myself for not only brace but get prepared for what's next and be a part of what is the next thing to happen with this culture, especially in Los Angeles, which can get fickle at times for certain things. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that this ain't the Von Dutch of music, so to speak. Remember when Von Dutch was everywhere out here in
Oh
LA?
my God.
Remember that?
You see the documentary?
I did see it. I did
Holy
see it.
shit.
I had no idea.
The Von Dutch of we do not want to be
No,
well,
no, I want to make
I
sure.
mean shit. No, we don't.
No. Well, the thing is, this music, I think, no matter what happens, will be around. But the visibility may be a little bit harder to see, but it'll be around. Because this bad boy has no problem going underground again. Not a one.
Right, right.
You know, and then pop up in 10, 15 years. No problem.
I don't know. I think if anything, the devastating pandemic has only heightened house music because throughout the pandemic, music really, I mean, outside of the essential workers, which the doctors and nurses are like the most crucial part of to get us through, but on the sidelines has been music and music has helped a lot of people get through this crazy time.
Right. Right.
I
But
think
this music, like before, still has little to no radio play. And that you didn't think was important. Okay, we got the internet, we can download, we can stream and whatnot. But even when I go to some of these streaming services and punch in house music, I'm like, that ain't house music. I don't know what you want to call this artist. He's not a house person. She's not a house person. I don't know what this is. Some of those names you expect to see. I expect to see some Frankie up there, some Carrie Chandler up there. I expect to see some names that are synonymous with house music there. They're not there. So they don't even know what it is fully. They don't know.
right, but I think that's getting better. Over the last couple of years has gotten better.
But
And
that's my point is that's the danger of it. It needs to get better faster, much faster. And these individuals who, blood, sweat, and tears make this music need to get their flowers right away while they're still here. And that's the danger zone of it going back underground because it's a thing that will consistently be created. That's not going to stop.
right.
But, I don't hear it on my radio.
Well,
I mean, we live in LA,
we
and
live in,
KCRW, every now and again, they do their job. They'll drop some stuff on there. God bless them. But you go outside of here, you're not going to hear that much on the radio.
no, not going to happen.
Right.
Not going to happen.
Right.
But some of them are, they really getting their flowers right now. I mean, Alter the Tate is, she probably has so many vases of flowers right now. She is killing it. She is doing her thing. Even like the height of the pandemic, they had this amazing party that it was like super strict to even do, and they did it, and it was successful. Now she's like, boom, she's in Italy. She's going here. She's in Miami, and she is. Remember when we had her on our podcast last year?
Yep.
We were like, the song "Free," which is 15 years old, is going to be the most phenomenal song today.
Right.
Pandemic, and it absolutely has been. So some of them are getting their flowers, and I hope a lot more get their flowers because they definitely deserve it. You know what I mean? Because all the people are in these certain resorts and clubs around the world are like making millions and millions of dollars off of this music that they need to give these people their fucking flowers while they're here.
The funny thing is, I've been hearing more of this music pop up in like commercials, movies.
Yeah.
People are sourcing it for, some stuff up on Netflix and Hulu and whatnot. It's popping up in places like that. So I'm not sure what the carryover effect is to where you go out to a club and you're going to hear house music. Because for me, it's dance music. And it's some of the best dance music you're going to hear. And back in the day, you would hear dance music on the radio and then dance music in the clubs, which gave people a connection. So when they went out, they're like, wow, this I know this song. This is my favorite song. It's like, I don't want to be here another 5 years, 10 years talking about this same subject about house music, how it's not connecting with people, because it's one of the things that people, when they go out to hang out and party and listening to, is something that they recognize, something that they've heard before. And that doesn't affect me so much as a DJ. I've played songs in clubs where I may have had one or two listens to, but I know the beat, I know what it's feeling, I know how the groove is, so to speak, and I play it. But I listen to things through a different ear as a DJ. But some folks listen to it as as a spectator or a person that likes to dance and whatnot. They want to connect, and there's more of a connection when you hear something more than just once. So I'm hoping that this music gets out in front of people that they can dig it, and when they go out to clubs and whatnot to look for it, to listen for it, and hopefully they're in some of those environments where typically, where you would find it. You're going to find house on the beach. You're going to find house on the rooftops. You can find house in the clubs. You can find house in the basement parties. You can find this music everywhere, but unfortunately not enough of it when you're stuck in the 405 in your car. You know what I'm saying? That's hopefully where I need to hear most of this stuff going.
Right. And we got to get the kids to hear it.
Got to get it young, man.
If the kids don't hear it, it's done. Because we're going to the next realm one day, and so is everybody else.
Yep.
So there's no kids listening to it. That's the key. I
think they would dig it, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a positive thing, because listen, I'm older than hip hop. I thank God that I grew up in the age of music in which I did, to be around when hip hop was birthed. old enough where jazz was tailing off a bit. It's the hardcore, straight up stuff. Rock and roll was pretty much, you know, I was in the middle of it when I was
Hmm.
born. So it's a good gumbo mix, center cut of music that I listen to, that I've been a part of, been a part of my life. So I can leave hip hop. I could, well, it's actually forcing me to leave because not enough of the good stuff gets through. Now, I believe good stuff is being produced musically. I think it always has and always will be. You always want to hear some good stuff, but it's harder, I think, in that particular genre of music to get through.
Yeah, because it's all the good conscious music is being blocked. But that, I mean,
I
that's a
don't.
whole.
I'm not even trying to call it conscious. I'm not even trying to put that label on it. I'm just talking
Well,
good.
I mean, just even well, okay, just leave it at good. The good hip hop, which is out there. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. 25 years to the day that he got shot down. So real hip hop is still out there. Unfortunately, if you're on the 405 like you were earlier and didn't hear house music, you could be on the same 405 and you won't hear that good hip hop.
Okay.
Rare that they play it. You know, I can put some tape over my mouth and rap, and I sound like I'm mumbling, and that's what you're gonna hear.
Well, I was wondering how much of this has to do with the fact that we're older. Something that may have a contributing fact. I like to look at things, as clear as I possibly can, and how much that has to do with the fact that we're generationally not connecting with it. You know what I mean? From that aspect, we kind of like aged out because I've never been in a position where I don't know the majority of the artists
True.
that are making hip hop today. The majority of them, I have no idea who they are,
I agree.
no idea who their music is. And the funny thing about it is, I see them maybe on a social media campaign or maybe clapping back at somebody more so than hearing their music. Like, where's their music?
Exactly. So it's a combination of what you said. We are aging out in a way because when these award shows come on, we may know
Excuse me.
one out of five or six of the nominees when they announce the names. I'm like, who is this? So I think it's a combination of we're getting older, we kind of are aging out. But if you really investigate the hip hop of the day, you can listen to the music and you can tell whether or not it's something that's positive and negative. So we're not totally aging out.
Like I said, I don't want to even break it down that line. I'm beyond positivity or negativity. That's not how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at to it to be good.
Well, positive to me equals good. So when
Well,
you say good hip hop,
that's what I mean. Good. It doesn't necessarily mean it could be the lyrics could be of a negative sort, if you will. It could be negative and be good.
true.
Okay. I'll tell you one. Like Biggie Smalls was my biggest guilty pleasure. I was like, damn. He said about call old girl that. Talking about this subject. But it was a guilty pleasure because some of the stuff, if you will, to put it in the context of what you're saying, negative or positive, some of it was negative. Maybe how he lived, maybe his lifestyle was of a negative sort, but it was also good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want good music. Negative, positive at this particular point, I'll take.
Okay. Well, I get what you're saying. What I have problem with the new rappers, I'll just call it out as it is okay. Maybe the lyrics are negative, and they're negative because that's the life that individual lived. What I have trouble with is when you have these rappers rapping about this lifestyle that they had nothing to do with. Like they have silver and gold spoons, but they're talking about they grew up, you know, in the hood. That's that's one of the main pet peeves I have with today's
Well,
music
well,
when it comes to rap
it's
or
not
hip
even
hop.
that for me because rap came out hip. Okay, Okay, hip hop is a culture, not just rap is one aspect of the culture. That music, those kids were saying things to escape the dire circumstances in most cases of their existence. So yeah, I'm from the hood, but the last thing I'm trying to do is glorify the hood. It's not a place to you know to lift up. It's not a place to say this is what's happening. It's a place
Right.
to elevate from. That's not what I'm hearing.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? We've made that place or these folks that talk about it. Nobody's talking about getting out. No one's talking about doing something better. It's still the me thing, which is an aspect of the culture. It was about look what I got, this is what I'm wearing, blah blah blah. I get that aspect,
Mhm.
but after a while, after like almost 40 years, we need to talk about something else. We need to talk about something else.
Yeah, I
I mean, but
agree.
these beats don't got so damn infectious. I'll give you
Oh,
that. These beats don't got
the
crazy.
the beats, the beat, it's yeah, the beats. You get infected by the beats, and then you're like, the lyrics really don't matter. The beats are so tight. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Shout out to real hip hop. That's all I can say.
Shout out to the real ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a struggle, bro. It's a
Yeah.
struggle. I mean, for me, I could throw on some John Coltrane and be cool
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life, I don't have to listen to any new music whatsoever. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Because it's new every time you listen to it. And that's
Well, it's like
yeah.
almost like abstract art. You look at
Yeah.
it, it looks
Yeah.
completely all the time. But there's
Yeah.
also mad, crazy artistry that you can't just decipher in one setting. Yeah, go back at it, and plus,
Right.
it's some of the best things that has been produced. And with all the crazy stuff that's around, and all the negative stuff, if you will, going back to that, putting that in the mix, I can revert to that. I was like, yo, this is what's happening. This is phenomenal, and and there's so many more that I haven't even gotten past a Coltrane or Miles or Max Roach or them cats to even get into some of the people that are a little bit more obscure, if you will, or lesser known, not obscure, lesser known,
Mm-hmm.
and get into their catalog of music. For me to deal with some hip hop that's not great,
Yeah.
not great. There's that I don't think that many great artists in hip hop anymore. Period. There's not that many great artists.
I agree. 1,000. I agree. 1,000.
And I think the climate is such that they don't have to be great.
No, they just need to have 10 million followers on Instagram and you're good. It's not like it used to be where, you know what I mean? This whole social media and internet has really, really changed the game across the board for
That's a
every
part of it.
artist.
That's a part of it. But I think people are also like are sheep. I think some of these kids are sheep. Young people are extremely impressionable. Think about how impressionable I was. I mean, to even get into some of the stuff I was listening to, because my friends were digging it. But it was some cool shit. They were digging it because it was dope. These kids are digging it because they don't want to miss out. Is this dope or not? Maybe some of them think it's good and want to be a part of that. I once saw this thing with Jimmy Kimmel, just to stray a little bit, and he was doing a like stand-ups like out at Coachella and asking participants that were going if they heard of certain musicians and performers.
I think I saw that.
You saw that. It was all a bunch of fake names. None of the performers were real. Just made it up. And overwhelmingly, everybody said, yeah, I heard about them. They're great. I follow them. They're amazing. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all fake groups, just people wanting to belong to something, wanting to be in the know. Like the risk of being uncool is huge.
The risk of being uncool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just say like, no, I never heard of the Splash Monkeys. The Splash Monkeys? Really? Yeah, I never heard of them. Nobody wants to say that. Everybody's like, oh, Splash Monkeys, they dope. Speaking of which, I should write that down. Splash Monkeys, that's a tight ass
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
The
NFT.
Splash Monkeys,
Splash
man.
Monkeys.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a tough situation, man. People that's afraid to stand alone for what's really good. You know what I mean? It's for what's really good. I mean, I saw Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl. I've always been a fan of him. I think he stands alone out there. I think he stands alone. He's one of the few cats that are like that. And there's some others out there, but it's a tough storm to weather. It's a tough storm to weather when you're out there. So I don't know. Time for some
Black
John
culture
Cole.
is everywhere.
Yeah.
Hip hop, jazz, house.
It's not just black culture, man. It's culture, period.
It's culture, period. But it was born out of black culture.
Well, like a lot of things,
In
man.
the islands.
Well,
Yeah.
that's another podcast for another day. Another podcast, another glass of rosé for another day. Because what we do, we turn it on its head.
Yeah, we're blenders. We bring everybody together with the music.
Right.
That's what the music is about.
Right. Well,
You know.
you can't talk about music without us.
Yeah. That's
You
all
can't.
I'm saying. You can't.
You can. And for the most part, I like to see us at the top of the heap, at the top of the food chain, getting broken off before everybody else. Because I think equity is important for what we have contributed to this world, and we need to go get it.
Happy March, everybody.
So with that being said, LA is opening up. People are out and
Yes.
about. They're getting their grooves on. I mean, encourage you to do the same. Take whatever precautions you need to feel nice and safe. We suggest you get yourself vaccinated and or get your negative COVID test before you pop into some of these venues and hear some of this great music performed by some of these great people. Get out there, get your groove on, get your boogie on. DJ Big D.
And Day Slayer, but are we gonna play some of the music from our last blend party?
We will.
on this episode?
Yes, we will. We will get to that. And that's coming up next.
Okay. I just want the folks to know.
Well, I was gonna let them know. But
So we're letting you know now, folks.
yes,
like
we're letting you
1.5
know now.
2 hours of our last party.
Yeah.
And if you're in LA on the 19th of March, come to the bar at Johnny's. The address is 4327 West Adams Boulevard, Los Angeles 90018. Parking is limited as hell, though.
Yeah. So you might want to get that rideshare app out and do that thing.
And if you're driving, you might want to take a scooter because I put in $75 in my car and it still didn't fill the tank.
Yeah. Well,
But small thing, small sacrifice. considering
indeed.
what's going on.
I say bring your appetite. Don't eat that day. Come bring your appetite because the food is bomb diggity. All right. So coming up next, our mix, just Day Slayer and myself on the decks. We did at our last blend party in LA, and we hope that you enjoy. We'll see you then, everybody. My name is DJ Big D.
And I'm Day Slayer.
And we do this for the culture of house music. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Yeah! to you. And it seems that God is waiting too hard to find. We see your fellow man, your fellow woman, and tell them, I love you. And the pressure will leave, I guarantee. That is the word. We love everybody. Let's get things like this. And we do this for the culture of house music, y'all. Keep love this song so much. It's more than I can say. They say thank you in words that I couldn't express. And we want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and supporting the blend, supporting the Afro election. We do this with the love and the appreciation of you people. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Very excellent, everybody.
Nina, friends, everybody. Nina, don't go. Don't go. I want to thank you all for coming out. Miss Nina, this is for... Happy birthday, Krista. We want to thank everybody for coming out. Be safe, be well until we see you on March 5th.
Well, that's it, everybody. That's that mix we were talking about. My man Dave Slan, and we did that not too long ago over at the bar Johnny's on Crenshaw and Adams. Just a little something that we call blend. It's our sister bookend adjacent adjunct facet to
Sister.
well, it's part of the Blend LA podcast. So the Blend Day
Okay.
Party is part of it. I want to bring that in. So that was that mix. And what was fascinating about that, it was just Day Slayer and myself playing. No guest DJs, which is what we're forging forward with this summer for the most part. It'll just be him and I playing as we get back out there post-COVID.
Yes. And speaking to that, I think I'm going to get some Dr. Scholl's for the 19th.
What does that mean? What the hell's that
For my
mean?
shoes. Put them in the footbed of my shoes. So because I'm on my feet all day. On my feet.
Wow. Seriously? Dr. Scholl's.
I do not sit down. Can't do it. And then when I get home, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have sat down while D was playing.
You need to get some better shoes playing. Dr. Scholl's ain't gonna get it. That is not the vibe. That is not the vibe. Get some insoles, get something else. But you show up there in some Birkenstocks, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Thanks so much for joining in the Blend LA podcast. Again, I'm DJ Big D.
And I'm Dave Slayer.
And we do this for the culture of house music. We'll see you soon. Take care.